Really quickly, before we get into this video, I just want to say the video quality is terrible, and I don't know why. I have a feeling it was because it was overcast when I filmed this video, but I cannot record and draw the same drawing twice. I can't because I'm worried it won't look as good the second time, and I also didn't know until I finished filming this video, and I like this piece, so you guys are just gonna have to deal with grainy video because I don't know how to fix it. So yeah, anyways, video. This video. This video. I'm so excited. I am so excited for it, but it very nearly didn't happen. I genuinely considered making a community tab post and being like, there's not gonna be a video this week because I hurt myself on Friday. I hurt myself on Friday really bad. I don't know what happened. It literally like spontaneously happened out of nowhere. Anytime I tried to sit for a long period of time and like work on commissions or anything like that, I hurt so bad, so very bad. And then by Thursday, I was like, okay, I really don't want to miss a video. I really don't want to miss a video this year. I've been trying so hard to make sure that I upload every single week. I'm feeling a little bit better. I can move, I can sit for a little bit longer, just long enough, I fear, that I will be able to record a video. But what video? What video? And I had a couple of different things planned, and all of them were just like, no, that won't work. No, I still hurt too bad to do this. This one's not gonna work. Blah 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 blah. And then the evil Eddie in my brain thought of an idea. Why don't we do this thing that I have been avoiding for a while? And why have I been avoiding it? Because I'm scared. I'm really scared. I was really scared to work on this piece. Why was I scared? Because it's technically a collab with Arrtx. Hi Arrtx, thank you so much for sending me your Simptap markers. They sent me their 48 acrylic marker set, and first of all, when the box got here and it was sparkly, you can understand that I lost my mind. It was pink and green, and it was sparkly. Are you joking? Are you joking? There's sparkly. I still have the box. I refuse to store them in anything else because it's pink and sparkly. Shut up! They're so cute. Anyways, so they sent me their markers, which I was really excited by, because, fun fact, on my various different social medias, I have been trying a bunch of different marker brands, and kind of like, weighing the pros and cons of each one, like how they perform, what some do better, and, you know, some do worse, blah, blah, blah. Just showing how each marker stands out and which one might work best for you as an artist as part of your process. So when they offered to send me these markers, I was like, yes, please do. I want to try out as many brands as possible. Absolutely. I've been hearing a lot about them, so I was excited to try them out for myself. I'd already used them previously for the first part of our collab because I was supposed to do 2 videos and 2 photos. So I did a little oh my god, what was it? Like a little like photo study that I did, but then I was like, I should really do a portrait. I should really do a portrait to see how they would work with my process, because with previous iterations of me testing out different marker brands, I've been tackling like the portrait as if I would me always using that medium, and not necessarily like my background in alcohol markers translated into acrylic markers. Does that make sense? Because I have a very particular process, and it's like kind of like my same process that I do digitally that I'm able to do with alcohol markers because of the way that they blend. So I'm used to doing a certain level of shading, but usually I avoid shading when it comes to alcohol markers. So I was like, let's try to blend, okay? Let's try to blend with alcohol markers, okay? I've been watching a lot of this YouTuber. What is that? I've been watching a lot of this creator right here, and she is an amazing artist. She does lots of paint marker videos, with some of these markers as well. I think it's a different set from Arrtx, but it's still like a paint marker from them. So I was like, I'm taking a lot of inspo here. She doesn't do portraits, she does more like animals and stuff like that, but just watching how she puts the colors together, I was like, ooh, okay, so maybe you can blend a little with an alcohol marker, please, with an acrylic marker. Maybe there can be a little blending to be done. So I want to try that. I want to make a portrait. And then I made the mistake this is where the fear came from. Not that it was a collab, but that y'all know that generator that I've been talking about for weeks now, where it like spits out like a random aesthetic, and then it like I can get ideas for it and like make a character based off of it because it helps like ping the creative part of my brain. This is where it all started. I found that random generator, and the first one it ever gave me was Love Punk, which is so cute. Are you joking me? Are you joking me? I came up with an idea near instantaneously. You can see my thought process over on the left-hand side. I thought it would be fun to do them side by side so you can see like how the piece came together and stuff like that, rather than like sketching it on the one side and then, you know, doing a couple of studies and then doing it on its own separate page. I was like, I want to do them side by side so bad so you guys could see how the piece came to be. So yeah, I got Love Punk and I instantly came up with an idea and I really liked it, and I made the mistake of posting it to my personal Facebook page so all my friends could see, and everybody really liked it and was hyping it up. Even people that don't normally interact with my stuff were like, whoa, I really like this piece. And I was like, dang it, everybody really likes this. Now I don't want to touch it because I'm scared that when I finally do render it, I'm not going to do it justice. So I was really terrified. But then, like I said, this week came around and Evil Eddie was like, you have to do it. And I was like, you jerk, you're so right. Because it really, like, it's true. It's an icon, you know, those don't usually take me too long to render. I'm coloring. I love to draw. I love to color. It's my favorite part of the whole rendering process. I don't have to do line art. So I should just do it. Yeah, I should just do it. So I was very brave, and I finally got into making this piece. So let's talk about the process. Let's talk about these markers. When I first used them, there were things that I liked about them, but I mentioned a few things that I didn't like about them that are no longer applicable because I was using them wrong. I was not using them wrong. Or I was using them wrong. Can I talk today? That would be awesome. Anyways, I was using them incorrectly because I was so used to the other three brands that I've used so far, that being Shuttle Art, Art Echo, and the Gravy dual-ended ones. None of those are like ones that you have to shake and pump like you would a Posca marker, for example. And I haven't used my Poscas in ages because they don't have a brush tip. All of these do. So those, you don't have to shake any of them. They're just like, you use them right away, right? So these being a brush tip, it tricked my brain. I was like, I can use them right away after I activated them. I thought that little pushy thing on the end was only for when you activate them. I never thought, because you have to shake them too when you use them. So I was like, you just need to shake them to mix the ink and then it will be ready to go again. Wrong. I found this out. So when I initially did this study, it didn't ping anything off in my brain because I saw a couple of different people in other YouTube videos mention that these kind of run out of ink a little bit quickly. So when I did that initial like photo study and some of the ink was dry, because what had happened was when I got these markers, I did the initial swatches and then I let them sit for a little bit until I could figure out what I wanted to draw for the first like photo piece. And then once I figured that out, once I started using them, I was like, wow, these are a little dry. That's so weird. I've literally only swatched them. Huh. I guess they were right. So I did that. And there was another thing that I mentioned, but I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So when they started drying, I was like, okay, I guess. But then when I was working on this portrait, for whatever reason, I started using the pink and I was like, there's no way that it's dry, because I barely used this in the last one and I've only swatched it. And then I realized there's literally photo printed graphics on the side of the markers that are like, every single time you use them, here's what you do. You shake them, you pump them, and then if you're gonna stop using them, you put the cap on like you're supposed to. So I was like, are you joking me? You're supposed to pump them every single time? That's why they're dry? It's not because I'm not shaking it hard enough, because I was just like, maybe I'm just not shaking them hard enough, or maybe there's not enough ink or whatever. I shook that pink so many times, and then I was like, there has to be another, and then I saw it. Oh my god, you fool. So, I can't speak to, like, if they do run out really quickly, because I've only worked on these 2 pieces with them so far, in the studies and, like, little sketches and stuff that I've done with them. But, like, as far as, like, 2 big pieces, I've only done that. So who knows, maybe by piece number 3 they'll be going out again. I have no idea. But I do know that my initial, like, they really don't hold ink, was wrong because I was not pumping them like you're supposed to. The other thing that I mentioned was they sent me a sketchbook that I do love the sketchbook. Okay, I love the paper. It's really thick. It's kind of like, I would say, like a really nice mixed media paper. And I initially was like, I love the sketchbook. I like the markers. I don't know if I would pair them together because the paper, the tooth, kind of like eats up the nib. Yeah, it was eating up the nib because the nib wasn't saturated because I wasn't pumping it, so there wasn't any ink in it, so it was a dry nib on dry paper. So that's wrong too. I do actually like these markers on this paper. Silly Eddie. Silly Eddie. Use the products right, maybe. Use the products right, perhaps, and you will like them more. I liked them both. Again, it's just that, like, I was like, I maybe like a Bristol board or like something smoother that the markers can sit on and not like be eaten up by, which would still be a good idea, but also they work fine on this paper. I just was using it wrong. So once I figured out how to use them properly, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what it was like to properly use these markers on a piece that was more true to my style. And I love it. I really like these markers. One thing that I am obsessed with, so I made the decision, instead of like going in and doing liner, obviously, because it would have just got eaten away. When I do alcohol markers, I will do a pencil layer, and then I will lighten up that pencil layer, and then I'll go in with my markers, right? Like a really light layer of pencil, so that I can still see like all my lines and stuff. But I decided to leave it fully opaque because these are acrylic paint pens, right? You guys have heard me talk about acrylic paint, like brush markers, like, and not brush markers, like actual brush paint, right? How I get scared because my lines are gonna go away. It terrifies me, right? I don't like it. I don't like it. It scares me. Yeah, it scares me bad. So I really didn't want my lines to disappear, so I left them solid, like I would if I was just gonna do a sketch and like not do anything with it. And then I went in with the marker, and I'm so glad I did, because the way that the paint interacts with the colored lead was so yummy. It started like blending them really smoothly, but not so much so that my construction lines went away, which I was so grateful for. So grateful for it, because I was scared they were going to disappear. But no, it just like melded everything together so incredibly perfectly. Where I really, really, really liked it was the hair. The only reason, like, I had shading planned for the hair, like I had a marker picked and everything planned already, but the only reason I actually went in and used it was because the pink was starting to read a little more cool toned, and the red of the hair was reading more like a reddy orange. But like the shading that came from just it mixing with the pencil was literally perfect. So I just went in where it already made that shading naturally with that purple color, and then I added some in the roots, obviously, because I didn't have that much pencil in the root. So I went in and did some shading. Oh, and I lined some of the, I just flicked the mic. I lined some of the very back pieces of the hair with the purple, which I really like that I did that. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I wanted to like push them more in the background, so I was like, I should line these purple. I don't know why, but I love it. So let's talk about blending the face, because that was the thing that scared me the most. I had a couple of different markers picked out for this. The pinks in this set, I do like them, but the thing is, they don't really play nice together, because they have pretty drastically different undertones. The ones that suit each other, I would say, are the J215, which is like a pastel pink, and the J210, which is what I was using here. But because of the way that it was mixing in with the pencil, it was making my base layer too close to that super hot pink. So I needed a third option. I did do J529. I kind of wish I did 532, because it was a little more of like a vibrant purple versus the one that I ended up going with, which was more of like a mauve, I should say. But I went in with that, and I was actually able to get some freaking blending down, because that 529, too dark. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. The the first color that I went down with, I initially was only going to do 2 colors. They were too close together, so I needed a third shade. The third shade was dark, but I was able to mix the third and the second shade together to get a good mid-tone down so that I could get some shading. And I'm really pleased with it. I mostly did what I expected was going to happen, which is doing a little bit more of like a texture to imitate a blend. There's like little fine lines that I start doing towards the end. Actually, I'm not even sure if I did it on camera, because I remember when I got a majority of it down, I took you guys off, because that's what I normally tend to do. Because for like the really detailed aspects of the illustration, I just put my fat head in frame, and there's literally no way to get around it. In order for me to do like the really like detailed fine stuff that I like to do, I gotta do it off camera, because you guys can't see what I'm doing regardless. So yeah, I don't know if that ended up being on camera or not. But I start to do like these little like flicks of lines that give the illusion of there being a blend there. But I was, again, if I'm going in wet on wet, able to get some actual blending going with these markers. And I really like it. I really like the end result. I am looking at it right now. I have been for this entirety of the illustration, and I'm so glad that I finally bit the bullet and decided to do it. I was so scared to touch it. I was scared that I wasn't going to like the final end result of the piece, and I do. I like it so much. I am very, very excited to finally be able to share it with you guys. I think it's really bold. I think she's really cool. I really like her vibe. I hope you guys do too. And again, let me just say, because this is technically part of a collab with Arrtx, I do like these markers. I like that there's a pump on them. There's one downside that I will say, and that is that pumping the markers, the ink flow isn't always consistent. Not like when you're using the markers, that's not what I mean. What I mean is sometimes if you pump it once, even the same like amount of pressure, sometimes for a marker it's gonna start bleeding out, like really like solid, like it's pooling in the tip. That happened with both of the pink markers, but with the red one, I did that several times and it was not coming out. The red was really having trouble getting saturated. I don't know if part of that was like me subconsciously doing it less than I did with the pink, because I was so scared that it was gonna overflow. But a really easy way to fix that overflow, don't like spin it around on a piece of paper, because I did that several times and it didn't help. The only thing that helped was me taking a paper towel to the tip and like lightly dabbing it, and getting away all of that excess ink. For some reason, like having a scratch piece and like swiping it on there didn't do that, but with a paper towel it helped a lot. So yeah, that's really the only downside that I have towards these markers right now. Again, I can't speak to like the longevity of the markers because I haven't used them quite enough yet. I haven't been doing a lot of traditional art lately, but I am looking forward to using these markers a lot more. I'm so happy with the end result. Again, like there's just so much like there's like a punch. There's like a punch to it that I really, really enjoy. So I hope you guys like this piece. I hope you guys like this video. If you're interested in getting a little discount code and checking out these markers, there will be one linked down in the description. Huge shout out to my patrons who are so patient and will probably be getting this video like literally in the afternoon on Friday, when you guys are supposed to get it in the morning. You guys put up with so much. You guys put up with so much, and I love you. I genuinely adore you guys so much. So if you want to be alongside all of these cool pictures on screen right here, you can go and check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/eddiescribs. I have a ton of cool stuff on there that I usually post on time when my body is not exploding. Usually. If you're just sitting here watching this video to watch it, then I appreciate you too. That's really cool. Maybe leave a comment down below. What's one of your favorite mediums you like to use? Do you guys have a favorite acrylic marker brand? If not, would you use these markers? Do they look kind of slay to you? They look kind of slay to me. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.